aid legislation that finally passed the House over the weekend. The bills provide $95 billion to Ukraine, Israel, and America's allies in the Pacific. Scott McFarland is at Capitol Hill. Scott, good morning.
Nate, good morning to you. The U.S. House Speaker put his job on the line to win support for this Ukraine and foreign aid package while risking a revolt inside his own party.
So brave. Nothing says bravery like getting a bipartisan $95 billion weapons package through Congress.
God bless him.
Like when people think about how divisive our politics is, they always think about American foreign policy, which we're always divided on.
He kind of looks like, not this guy, the speaker. He kind of looks like Quagmire, sort of. Don't you think? Maybe?
Not really. This guy, however, does look like a Team Fortress character, like the medic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he looks like Quagmire.
Doesn't he?
I think Michael Penis has like a very weird vibe to him. I think that he's...
Call him Michael Penis?
Yeah, Mike Johnson. My Johnson. My penis. What do you think Johnson is?
I thought this was a news channel.
This is not a news channel.
But actually,
no.
I'm learning a lot today.
Yeah.
You
came here not thinking you'd be educated, and here you are. You were mistaken. Top political influencer, by the way. I know. That's why I'm the top, baby. Ain't nobody's out here doing brilliance. Nobody's out here saying Mike Johnson, more like Michael Penis, am I right? I go there. I go to the places that people are afraid to go to. But anyway, getting back to Michael Penis.
You should go on CNN and say Michael Penis.
I would 100% do it. So I so frequently call Joe Biden Brandon that I literally do it whenever I'm talking to like serious people that are, you know, that just don't fully understand what I'm saying at first. Like, what do you mean Brandon? Like it doesn't register with them. I did it against Marianne Williamson. Like I've done it on TV before, I'm pretty sure. Like I just, yeah. They called him my cock in college. I did it on the iced coffee pod. Yeah. Let's get back to the aid package.
With Ukraine running short on money and munitions.
On this vote, the ayes are 311 and the nays are 112. The bill is passed.
The U.S. House approved nearly $61 billion to help the country in its third year fighting back the Russian invasion. The Senate is expected to follow suit when it returns tomorrow.
The Ukrainians' morale has been great, but it's been undermined over the last couple of months when they have been literally given out rationed bullets.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the House for overcoming its gridlock.
This is the show of leadership and strength of the United States.
Also included in the foreign aid passed was more than $26 billion for Israel and
Oh, thank God, man. They really need it. They really, really need it, dude.
Well, they're almost out of ammunition.
Yeah, dude, I don't think people understand how many bullets they use to kill the Palestinian babies. Like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of weapons. Thank God for the United States of America. Thank God.
Billion for Taiwan and Indo-Pacific security. Speaker Mike Johnson, who'd been criticized for slow walking an aid package, successfully championed the bills this weekend.
You're not getting
one bipartisan
energy
support
from him?
I've done here what I believe to be the right thing, and that is to allow the House to work its will.
I think he's very
praise
sinister.
from Democrats.
Traditional conservative.
I don't like his aura. I think he's like really f***ed up.
Didn't he say something
About watching porn with his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, him and his son are like porn buddies in the sense, not that they watch porn together, but
they send each other clips?
No. They have like porn check.
Hey, Dad, watch this.
No, he's like his son is his accountability buddy to stop him from cranking a hot loadout on whatever the latest and greatest, porn is happening.
Cool.
Which is very weird. Like to have an accountability buddy for porn is weird because you're like kind of admitting that you have a problem jerking off. Like it's weird. It's a weird thing to admit to. There's no shame in addiction, in my opinion. Obviously, I have struggled with it myself, as you guys know. Unless we're talking about porn addiction, in which case it's a little funny.
You had a porn addiction?
No, alcohol.
It's so
like normal
so nice
shit
that you are so willing to be vulnerable and tell everybody about your porn addiction.
No, normal shit like getting fucking arrested for a DUI. Cool stuff, not fucking a porn addiction.
Goon Squad. It took a long time before I learned what gooning was.
Who taught you, Norm Finkelstein?
What? Norm? No,
You've never seen that?
No, someone asked him about gooning.
Oh my God.
They inform him of the gooning.
Chat, come on. Someone link the clip.
Expression, I don't know if they coined it or whether it's a commonplace in your generation. The expression is gooning, Gooning.
Grooming or gooning?
Gooning, Gooning.
Gooning.
It means basically being transfixed with porn, video porn, for like 24, 48 hours straight. Straight's the right word there. And it struck me. Now I know this is going to sound harsh, But it struck me that even though this crowd considered itself bohemian, and even though this crowd considered itself, what would you say, anti-establishment, it struck me this was exactly the crowd that would go over to fascism.
Dude, I love this because this.
Wait, the Gooners or the anti-Gooners?
No, I think he's saying like Gooners. Gooners are fascists. I do think this. I'm revealing how stupid and nerdy I am, but this goes up in the halls of the greats, right alongside Noam Chomsky's famous Sportster precursor, and like sports fandom is a precursor to reactionary fascist sentiment. It's great. I love when these guys whose brains just operate very differently start analyzing dumb shit that we take for granted on a daily basis.
I love my Gooners. They're doing the work. They're taking 24 to 48 hours inside their bedrooms. They're watching free use. They like free use.
But a few hardline Republicans.
I hate the Democratic Party so much here. Like they're giving props to Michael Penis right now because like he did this brave, courageous thing and he really like got it done. Because that's all we give a shit about is just weapons aid. That's it. Like just sending an unimaginable, unfathomable amount of weapons to other countries. That's all we're good for. That's all we do. Oh my God. Like the Democrats up until this stage, as you know, the Republican Party actually has a process in place that Matt Gaetz has used against the Forever Kevers within the party, where as long as you have 3 people in the Republican side in the House of Representatives, you can like literally remove the speaker unless the Democratic Party defends the speaker in an unprecedented fashion. And the Democratic Party openly stepped in and said, yeah, if you guys do this, like we will vote for him. We will vote for the speaker, rendering the decision useless because it wasn't like Marjorie Taylor Greene hadn't stepped in at the time to say that she was going to remove Michael Penis from the speakership role because of her dissatisfaction with the Ukrainian portion of the aid. And the fact that the Democratic Party gave a life raft to Michael Penis specifically because they want to make sure Israel gets a multiple $billion worth of weapons is so unimaginably. And anyone who thinks that at this stage a single goddamn Democrat in Congress gives a single shred of about a single Ukrainian person is the funniest delusional loser of all time. The Democrats and the Republicans both have dropped Ukrainians like a bad habit. If they did, they would be urging Ukraine to engage in some kind of cessation of hostilities, a ceasefire, and a long-term rebuilding process for Ukraine. They're not doing that. They don't give a shit. They never gave a shit. They never gave the appropriate amount of defense early on. Ukrainians obviously are just in wanting emancipation from a Russian invasion. But if you think that the American interest and involvement in Ukraine is about saving as many Ukrainians as possible, then it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. I will never be able to convince you. Okay? America has never given a shit about Ukraine and will never give a shit about Ukraine. They only need Ukraine as a cudgel, as a way to wield it against Russia, a foreign adversary. Regardless, though, you know who America does give a shit about? Israel. As you guys might have noticed, they definitely give a shit about Israel, a lot more than they give a shit about Ukraine. As a matter of fact, early on, one thing that I always brought up was how ridiculous it was that Ukraine can't get an Iron Dome defense system. It's our defense system. It is our rockets. It's our tech. And yet Benjamin Netanyahu early on said absolutely no shot does Ukraine get the Iron Dome defenses. Do you think that the Iron Dome defenses would not have been able to help at least some of the more populated areas, whether it be Kharkiv or whether it be even places like Kyiv? Of course it would have been helpful. And yet they didn't get it. And America never even pushed for it because at that point, Benjamin Netanyahu was still calculating his alignment with Russia and his alignment with Zelensky simultaneously. Remember when Biden tried to pass Trump's immigration policy in exchange for this MIC funding and now suddenly the Republicans just caved? I hate...
They're all on the same...
I hate everything.
They're all on the same page. They also slipped in the TikToks shit fucking bill.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about in a second.
Are continuing their threats to oust oust Johnson after he defied their warnings this weekend about moving forward with the legislation.
Mike Johnson's speakership is over. He needs to do the right thing to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do so, he will be vacated.
You know, he kind of looks like a young Mitch
Congresswoman
McConnell
Green and
in that picture.
You really want to make him look like somebody. Like you're
in that
adamant.
picture? Look, go back.
I just think he has like old G-man
That's
vibes.
a Mitch McConnell face right
He does
there.
kind of look like Mitch McConnell a little bit. I don't know. He just has like a very unsettling vibes. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like there's something off about him. And also, Steve Carell is right there. Why the f didn't you go there? He looks a lot more like Steve Carell than any of these other motherfuckers that you mentioned.
Don't say that shit.
He does look like Carell.
Don't say I look like. I don't
You
look
do
like
not
that
look like.
motherfucker.
Okay, maybe a little bit.
Go to my law school graduation photo.
Oh yeah, I know what photo you're talking about. Yeah, you do look a lot like that. Peter Griffin on Ozempic. That's the good one. Damn, chat's way funnier than you. How do you feel about that? Way funnier than me too. Don't worry.
I feel fine.
Congresswoman Green and her colleagues have been threatening to remove Johnson. Haven't said when they'll call for a vote. As for Johnson, he cites the intelligence briefings he's received and his own son's enrollment in the Naval Academy as his reasons for backing the Ukraine aid. Nate?
Scott, these foreign aid bills also impact TikTok users here in the U.S. What more can you tell us about that?
Oh, shit.
Big proposal. It would require TikTok to be sold or divested from its China-based owner or face a ban in the United States within a year. It has huge bipartisan support, but now that it's part of this foreign aid bill, it could move more quickly than the similar bill passed in March. And
sick. I'm glad that we have our priorities in order. Israel's doing a genocide. Biden has already got that shit locked down because he every now and then will say like,
no, he doesn't say it. Someone reports that he is.
Well, every now and
angry.
then behind closed doors, he says that baby, he's a bad guy. And then it's like, it's over on that front. You know, what more could he have done? Brianna Wu will defend him endlessly and be like, excuse me, Biden is doing the very best. He's such a peace-loving guy. Yeah, and now we're also going to ban TikTok. Okay, great.
While giving 26
TikTok has said this is an infringement on their First Amendment rights, and they oppose it, Nate.
Scott, on top of it as usual. Thank you.
Yep, they oppose it.
God.
The new fallout for TikTok after the House passed.
I hate the American government so goddamn much, bro. Like, there are hundreds of thousands of homeless people that have to live out in the streets every goddamn night.
New record.
No safety, no shelter. There are millions of Americans who are one paycheck away from homelessness. There are millions of Americans who have outstanding medical debt in the only developed nation on the planet that still has medical debt to begin with. We don't have health care. We don't have good education. We don't have a decent housing market that isn't completely and what do? Where do we find bipartisanship? Oh, when giving Israel $26 billion. God damn it, dude. With how much we have and how little we do with what we already have, we are bar none the absolute worst country on the planet. And we're all a bunch of pathetic little pieces of who don't do anything about it, who many of us, obviously not people in this community, not many wonderful working American men and women, but many Americans look to that and think, well, at least I'm not living in gay-ass Europe, brother. Holy shit, I would have hated if I lived in a 15-minute city, for example. If I had work in public transit, that would fucking suck. I hate the stupidity. I hate the arrogance that the average American demonstrates in the face of all available information showing them, not even showing them, just screaming in their face that like shit sucks. Who's to blame though? Oh, that's right. Gay people, trans people, Mexicans, undocumented immigrants. Those are the real movers and shakers of society. Make no mistake, it's not the corporate oligarchs. It's not them. It's not our politicians who do their bidding. It's Mexicans, dude. It's homeless people. You know, I hate it. Sorry.
I love Mexicans.
Good take, man.
Chat, I love Mexicans. They're fantastic. We love our immigrants.
Passed a bill over the weekend that could potentially ban the popular social media
Can you
app.
pause?
What?
Sometimes you just rip, you know what I mean? And you just go, and I'm like listening to you
Mhm.
rip, and then you're like, okay, now you say something, and I'm like, the fuck do you want me to say?
I don't
bro?
know. Follow it
agree
up with some fucking poetic shit.
Yeah, some poetic shit.
You
know
fucking-
what? I don't hate America. I hate the American government. I hate the people in power. I hate the people who are doing these things, not listening to the will of the people. people who have no interest in, you know, the majority of people who don't want to support these kind of things, don't want to support the genocide of a group of people very far away from them. I don't know. Like, I get it. I'm frustrated too. I'm not saying it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that, I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Are you?
I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't hate Americans either, but I do.
I know. No, I get you. I get you.
I just fucking despise. I despise people who are just like, no, better things can't happen. Actually, we're the number one. We're the best. It's just like, you're such a fucking.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
Yeah, you love those people. You said you are those people. That's what you said. Fucked up.
There are cool people here who are doing cool things, and I know they're trying their best, you know, and that includes the NYPD.
That's
the wonderful, the amazing
that's
people.
That's a great
of the
take,
NYPD.
man. Thank you. That's brilliant. It brings a tear to my fucking eye, dude.
No, I'm inspired. I'm inspired, you know, by activists.
Just like James Baldwin said, I love America. It is my patriotic duty to endlessly criticize it. That's it. If we didn't actually love the promise of America, I always say this, I love the promise of America. I love the potential of America. I just hate what America does with all of that potential. It just squanders it, casts it aside. Now, obviously, it's not just a simple mistake or due to the incompetence. It is by design. This is a bourgeois democracy. That is what this democracy is supposed to do. It's supposed to yield these sorts of outcomes and increasingly shackle you further, increase the structures of oppression. Slowly but surely, like fucking boiling frogs in a pan. It just, I hate that. It makes me very mad. Sorry, you know, it is what it is.
Incandescent rage, you and Joe Biden.
Defenders of democracy. We're in our defending our rights, human rights era.
I love it.
Are you in your era?
I love human rights.
I just...
Within a year, Janae Norman is here with what this could mean for content creators and the more than 170 million users. Good morning, Janae.
Good morning, Robin. 170 million users and countless of those who rely on TikTok for their livelihood now can.
Do you think a TikTok ban would just further galvanize the youth?
Hopefully.
I think we'll forget about it.
It's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
It's going to, not only does it have to get signed to law, but then I haven't read this new version of it, but apparently originally it was 6 months. Apparently this one is a year is what I've heard. So it's going to take that year. And then, you know, all of these organizations like the ACLU and other orgs are going to be suing. So it's going to take a while before shit gets cooking with it, even if they sign it.
Oh, here, I want to show you how much the Democratic Party and the Republican Party love Ukrainians. Let's take a look.
With two colleagues, Senator Lindsey Graham.
Who's this, Blumenthal?
Yeah.
United States President. With two colleagues, Senator Lindsey Graham.
No internet for you.
Oh, God. Everything just gets progressively, marginally worse year over year. It's so shitty. And it's always just like rich fucking assholes just like this. This is the same shit. Twitter, bought by a thin-skinned billionaire, forcibly purchased by a thin-skinned billionaire man-child, absolutely destroyed, just getting worse and worse every goddamn day of the week. It's just, everything sucks. Everything gets worse every day. And we just sit there and we're supposed to be like, well, we still have burgles, and the burgles are getting worse, and they're getting more expensive, and they made the Twix too fucking big to make the kids fat. Okay, Kanye was right about that point. Just kidding. They made it smaller. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. Oh,
you should have Kanye on.
Absolutely not. Take your anger out on Lolo. He's right there. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Trump blames Biden for a potential TikTok ban and calls it election interference.
Just so everyone knows, especially the young people, crooked Joe Biden is responsible for banning TikTok. He is the one pushing it to a close and doing it to help his friends over at Facebook become richer and, frankly, more dominant and able to continue to fight, perhaps illegally, the Republican Party. It's called election interference. Young people and many others, lots of others, must remember this on November 5th, Election Day. That's November 5th when they vote. They must also remember, more importantly, that he is destroying our country and a major threat to democracy. That's pretty good.
Dude, that is impressive.
Thank you.
You're very good at that. It's kind of suspicious how good at that you are.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, you've been hanging out with Trump a lot, huh?
Yeah, him and Danny.
Yeah. In 2020, Trump signed an executive order to ban TikTok from app stores, warning the United States. What did he say? Here, read this.
What?
He said.
The United States must make aggressive action against the owners of TikTok, the Chinese, to protect our national security. China.
To protect our national security. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, do I think that he would ban TikTok in a heartbeat? 100%.
Yeah.
Do I think that he's just using the momentum
Why
that Biden will, like the genuine resentment that Biden will cultivate from the youth especially? Absolutely.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
So good.
I want to watch Civil War, but you watched it already.
I didn't.
Yeah,
You saw me yapping about it on Twitter.
I saw some of the stuff that you said about it. I do want to watch it just to have a take on it, but
I think you should see it without my...
Would you want to go watch it again? Would you give it a rewatch?
Oh my God, that's what you want to do?
Yeah, would you want to go rewatch it? We can go watch it tonight.
I'd rather see Monkey Man.
Oh, dude, I want to watch that one too. Can you have Lola read this in Trump's voice, please? I beg, nothing I want more in life than this.
So good.
He's the GOAT.
I don't know if I could do this justice. Happy. Wait, hold on. Happy. Oh, fuck. See, now it's hard when I have to.
You put on the spot.
I
dude.
know.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. The best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower Grill. I love Hispanics.
I love
Hispanics. We love our Hispanics, though, especially the ones who come here legally.
Everything about this.
They wait in line. They wait in line for a long time.
They wait in line for the taco bowls.
They come. They make me a beautiful taco bowl
in Trump Tower.
I like it because I can break it and then I can use it to scoop up the ingredients.
Everything about this is perfect, from the fucking newspapers that is in front of him, that's underneath the perfectly placed taco bowl, down to the fucking Sudafed in his drawer that you can see right there.
King.
And how fucking like nasty his office is too. He's such a hoarder.
It's so funny too. I love Hispanics. That's like me saying I love Mexicans before.
Yeah. Well, you did say
Same
that.
wavelength. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, you have a problem with Hispanics?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to watch Ben Shabibo. All right.
Concerned that their financial security could be at risk, but for lawmakers, the concerns they say are about data security and personal information about all those millions of users.
Today, I'm saying my final goodbye to TikTok.
This morning, the clock could be ticking for a popular app,
That's how
TikTok.
content creators on TikTok
Breaking news right now. The House of Representatives has officially passed another TikTok ban.
Over the weekend, the House of Representatives passing legislation that could see the app banned in the U.S. if Chinese owner ByteDance doesn't sell within a year.
The two options are sell to a U.S. owner or cease operating in the U.S.
An unprecedented move that sparked serious concerns for some content creators.
I'm happier than I have ever been, and it is because this app has opened the door for me to figure out how I can make a difference in the world.
It'd be really funny if they posted a TikTok of yours in one of the news segments of you crying because TikTok's getting banned. What are you doing?
Should I make a TikTok right now?
Wow.
You wanna
Use the
make one?
momentum, dude.
You want to be in it?
Sure.
What should we say?
I don't know. What do you mean? Is that how you make TikToks?
I don't know. I'm not a good TikToker.
You don't think about it ahead of time? You just like blast it?
Oh, that's all I do. Yeah. You can't tell from my content that I just
don't
blast.
fucking know.
Oh,
I
just
don't really
blast.
watch your content. Sorry.
I'm glad you don't watch my content.
Yeah. If I did, I probably wouldn't invite you.
How do you feel about them banning TikTok, Hasan?
I like it. You're gonna be double unemployed, as a matter of fact. It's gonna be really funny that you're not only are you unemployed from your public defender job, but now you're gonna lose your TikTok job.
You're honestly, I don't like you anymore. I'm turning this off.
Is that good? Is that a fire TikTok, bro? Did you post it? Are you posting the fire TikTok?
I hate you. I'm posting that. I'm posting it.
There are over 170 million users on TikTok in the U.S. Many, like content creator Jennifer Gay, have found financial security from the platform.
Suddenly my voice mattered and I had a purpose and I started living boldly. 100% of my livelihood is connected to TikTok.
The TikTok ban is a response to top intelligence and lawmakers' concerns.
Pause for 1 sec. I want, like, genuinely, there are millions of businesses, small businesses that utilize TikTok that have helped, it's either grown their business to where it's actually sustainable for them to use or, fundamentally change people's lives in terms of
it's not necessarily like how much money you make on ad revenue, because that's notoriously dog shit.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It is, however, a really successful way of like launching your business, launching your small business, which I try to communicate to people all the time. Like in the United States of America, there aren't exactly a lot of like valid avenues for upward social mobility. Like you're not getting that. You're not getting financial security from a regular job, a regular 9-to-5 job any longer, unless you get into a field where you're finance related.
Unionized.
Finance and yeah, I mean obviously there's that. But for the most part, like the old school, like I go to a job, I get a pension at the end of my tenure, at the end of my career, all that stuff is gone. And it is really funny to think about the American government like shutting off one of the valves in an effort to try to force ByteDance to divest from their incredibly successful product. It's like global, is globally incredibly successful. America only makes up 10% of the active user base.
Right. They also haven't, there's not a single instance that they can show where anything that they're concerned about happening has happened, you know, in terms of the mismanagement of data, sharing it with people who aren't supposed to have it, et cetera, and so forth.
No, they tie that up with xenophobia. That's it. They're just like scary boogeyman Chinese. They're spying. They add the secret ingredient into that puzzle piece, which is that, well, they're Chinese. So that's it.
The secret ingredient
is resentment towards China and the Chinese.
That's your secret ingredient.
That's I'm not the number one dick rider of China. I'm actually the number one hater of China.
Oh, we're going to China.
Are you gonna come in October
to China?
I'm gonna go with Baby No Money.
Okay.
You're not invited.
What are you talking about?
Awkward.
You said that I was invited.
Well, I've rescinded my invitation.
You rescinded it?
Yeah.
Is this real?
No, I'm kidding. You want to go? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I want to go.
Let's do it. Hell yeah, brother. If I'm being monitored around the clock on my social media application, it better be from my own goddamn federal government. You know what I'm saying?
Are we gonna meet with G?
Dude, oh my, I would die. I would die. If I met with the GOAT, I would die. I'd be like, dude, please give me I will become a Chinese national. My dream is to be a white monkey. Like, I want to be a white monkey, and I want to be like, I want to be the Thomas Sowell, or like, I want to be like the hater of America for China. I want to be the guy that they hire specific. Steven Seagal. That's me, but for China.
That'd be sick.
Like, I want to be the Yeonmi Park, even better. I want to be the Yeonmi Park for China, where I'm just like, in America, they literally feed you burger every day, and then they tell you like, shut the fuck up. You have burger. What do you want?
I have a friend who has dual citizenship, and sometimes they're in New York now, but sometimes they live in Beijing. I think I could try it to figure something out.
Dude, that would be so sick. All right, I'm lining up my line again with the fucking thing.
Let's go. Lined up. No, wait, it's off now.
Why do I support China? I love high-speed rail.
It makes an L.
I support China because I see the writing on the wall, baby. That's it.
He knows where his paychecks get signed from.
Oh, yeah.
The Chinese government.
You know why I support China? Because if you live in China and you tune into the HasanAbi broadcast at the top of the hour, you don't see a 3-minute ad break. China is capitalist. Yeah, there you go, baby. I would love to be a Chinese capitalist. Yeah, I like countries that win. That's what it is. I would never say counter-revolutionary, anti-CCP things. I'd be so good. I'd be so good to you. I would be so good to you, Xi.
When I first started on TikTok, there was this Chinese company that signed me for a year, and
really?
Yes,
I didn't promote industrial grade.
They didn't
grade glycine.
Yeah, is that place
Donghua Jinglong or something?
Donghua Jinglong. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want the best industrial grade glycine, that's where you should go. No, they were.
If you want the best experience of the HasanAbi broadcast at the top of the hour, you should subscribe though for $5 or free. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Go on.
I was with them for a year. They didn't bring me anything. I was like introduced to them through a friend because they were supposed to like help
through
me
a friend
at the CCP. And they ended up not doing anything for me. But inside my contract, there was like a non-disparagement provision about the Chinese government.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that was like inside the contract.
Easiest thing to abide by.
For 1 year. And I was just like, okay, I can't post anything against China for 1 year. Otherwise, they'll sue me for $100,000.
Easiest thing to abide by. I already do that.
That was
for free.
Oh, that was in 2020. So that was during COVID. So I was paid off by the Chinese government.
That's crazy. Can't believe you admitted that.
No, I wasn't paid at all. I made $0.
Imagine America doing that law. What do you mean? It's even more cucked in America, where you can't do that for Israel, a whole ass country that is not us. That's what's so nutty. 35 states, baby. Go ahead. Try to maintain your job while also saying that you're pro-Palestine in 35 different ass fucking states. You can't do that. Not crazy.
It is.
Ridiculous. Get street food in Singapore sometimes. Senator, I'm from Singapore.
That user data could become compromised. A TikTok spokesperson calling the move unfortunate.
Besides the railway, could you flesh out cleanly why China is good? To someone who's never been told or overheard anything good on China, yeah, I can. They have implemented a tremendous amount of demonstrable development projects and have improved the material conditions of nearly 1 billion people on this fucking planet over the course of 2 decades, all as a direct consequence of central planning and a direct consequence of having a government that, albeit authoritarian in many different respects, especially as it pertains to civil liberties, has been able to genuinely improve people's lives. It's like China has actually done exactly what I would want America to do. That's why China does exactly what I would want America to do as it pertains to our development projects. I find it absolutely ridiculous. I think it's just copium. To minus all the dictatorship shit, yeah, whatever, dude. America's a fucking dictatorship too. It's just like, obviously not for us. We're very fortunate. It just depends on what group, what subgroup you belong to in the United States of America. Like we always talk about it, but it's like we always talk about how like, oh, China is an authoritarian nightmare, which there is certainly truth to it. I mean, Xinjiang is a glaring example of that kind of like state violence being brought about an entire subsect of the population where there is definitely collective punishment. But then you also think about like visit Xinjiang is open for tourism. Yeah, I mean, what it is now is not what I'm talking about, obviously, when I talk about Xinjiang or when I talk about collective punishment against a shit ton of Uyghur Muslims. But always remember, think about what we do to fucking undocumented migrants, for example. Those are human beings, right? Think about what we do to them and then tell me how this is not an authoritarian shithole. Think about what we do to poor people in this country and then tell me how that is not an authoritarian nightmare for them. We saw examples, direct examples of homeless people from Invisible People that went and interviewed them, where they talked about how there was one woman, they got like $300 a pop, like 3,000 tickets for like loitering and camping outdoors. That person has there's no exit ramp for them. They're just basically being slowly but surely punished as their living conditions get worse and worse and worse. Is that not authoritarian? Is that not an authoritarian nightmare? Yeah, if you're hopped up on America Go Juice, then you probably think, well, you know, there was a moral failure there. You know, they became homeless because they probably were a bad person or did some shit.
There are 600,000 plus of those people.
Yeah,
living on the street, and those are the numbers those are like the reported numbers. It's way fucking
it's just
higher.
Fucking ridiculous. You know, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, China does state violence in the exact same ways that every other fucking state does, and in instances where like they go above and beyond, far more openly violent than other states do. Their things. Right. But I've always found it really funny that like Americans will act like they give a shit about Muslims in Xinjiang when, you know, as we directly occupy for 20 years Afghanistan and still occupy parts of Iraq, still occupy parts of Syria, well, the oil fields. So yeah, it's a ridiculous hypocrisy.
He's very tough.
Wouldn't it be more productive to lure in people who otherwise would be swayed by just acknowledging civil liberties? Wait, what? What do you mean?
He is acknowledging that.
I did do that. What do you mean? You just don't hear it because you hear China good and that's all you hear. That's the biggest issue, is that a lot of people don't think that I criticize the Chinese government at all. They think I'm just like a major dick rider. I feel like it's our jobs to convert people. I've been able to get my Cuban American mom to agree with me on using eminent domain to seize unused property, but the civil liberties is always a big contentious point. Yeah, I did bring that up. The 35 states thing is anti-BDS laws in the United States of America. Anyway, also America's literally trying to silence pro-Palestinian content right now by banning TikTok. Yeah, it is pretty funny to talk about like how Americans care so much about Muslims, dude. As you guys know, we are currently not doing like Xinjiang would look like a fucking theme park in comparison to what we are doing by way of Israel in fucking Gaza. And motherfuckers are still like, well, you know, what about Xinjiang? Like, okay, well, you've just already shown me that you don't give a single shred of a shit. Anyway,
unfortunate, telling ABC News the bill would trample the free speech rights of 170 million Americans, devastate 7 million businesses, and shutter a platform that contributes $24 billion to the U.S.
You glaze up China too much? Okay, bro. Like, listen. We gotta have at least one of my prominent Indian chatters chirp when I fucking talk about how good Chinese development is. One. At least one. You glaze up China too much. The 800 million people out of poverty is the IMF myth of people above $1.90. No, I know the nutrition metrics, the poverty in China has wait, what? By nutrition metrics, the poverty in China has increased post-liberalization? No, as far as like even development goes, with the limited amount of capital that they're working with, it's still a lot of capital. It's great. It's not my fault that the IMF has had dog shit metrics for the poverty line, for extreme poverty. That's not what I'm talking about, though. What I'm talking about was actually the development that is noticeable, that Chinese people also openly mention and acknowledge. You have to compare countries to what they used to look like, and not like, wow, I can't believe China is still not, I guess, as developed as like a European city across the board, even though I think they're reaching that metric at this point. Americans should try to improve America and advocate for infrastructure projects and central economic planning. A lot more Americans will be much more patriotic for the rest of their lives, like millions of Americans became loyal soldiers for American hegemony during and after FDR. Yes.
Economy annually.
I don't think it's going to pass First Amendment scrutiny because I think there are less restrictive alternatives. We could have made it a crime to transfer Americans' data to an adversarial foreign nation or foreign state interference.
Bill has now passed the House, and it is on the fast track to becoming.
It's so funny to see it on.
I need to show you something. You think you think our lawyers and our attorneys, our Supreme Court attorneys are annoying, like we saw Neil Katyal. Well, here you go. This is a Supreme Court lawyer in India.
Oh yeah, swastika stands with Star of David. Okay.
No, wait.
Bro,
it's so good. It's so funny. You don't glaze them enough, to be honest. This shadow is dumb as fuck. China has abolished extreme poverty and the common prosperity, and anti-corruption pushed by Xi is why the U.S. has turned against China. I think glaze up India, sir. Yeah, Central Committee never glazing up India. India Lion 2. Fucked up. India Lion 2, sir. Paid CCP chatter. Yeah, Central Committee is our paid CCP chatter. He wishes, dude. I mean, so do I, though, to be fair.
Actual law.
The Senate is expected to take up the legislation tomorrow, and if passed, President Biden has already indicated he will quickly sign it into law. But not so fast. Experts say don't expect the app to go away anytime soon.
It's not like the app is going to delete off your phone right away. It could be months, it could be years of waiting through regulatory and legal hurdles to actually get this done.
Right. And so for now, TikTok is not for sale, but if and when that bill passes, it would likely kick off a lengthy legal battle. So Robin, Michael, and George's dance videos on TikTok, good shape for now.
Thank you, Janae. We'll be looking for your dances also.
Going ahead at an important week for the Supreme Court, where the justices are going to hear arguments on several key and contentious.
Good God. What are your thoughts on that? I love it. No, I mean, obviously, like personally, it's annoying. No, I think it's stupid as hell. I mean, was that Ro Khanna, right? He was saying, well, I think what he was saying makes sense, which is like they didn't even try to do something where pass a greater data privacy law. It's you know, it shows clearly what it's really about, which is they don't like things that people are saying on TikTok. They don't like young people getting further radicalized. They don't have control over what's happening on there, so they need to get rid of it. That's all. And they want to hand it over to their jackals.
They want to hand it over to a good guy, like a white guy, an American guy. You know what I mean?
With you know, who are sensitive to American interests, and people like the people at Meta who are deplatforming or deboosting political content, you know, in your settings, stuff like that. It's obvious. It's just on its face. It's just like all this stuff. Anybody who's paying attention knows what's happening. But the problem is, you know, they go, TikTok is the China app. The protesters are anti-Semitic, and then my mom goes, oh no, you know?
Really?
She's a nice lady. My mom. No, you
if
don't
they
like that
cared
analysis?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about your mom. I don't want to.
She's a nice lady. You say my mom's not a nice lady?
I'm sure she is.
What the fuck?
I'm trying so hard to not make a your mom joke to you directly
Don't
to
do
your
that.
face.
That's so rude.
But you're just like, you're lobbing it up to me. And it's hard because like you've met my mom. So like, it's like
I like your mom.
Yeah.
She's nice.
So that's why I'm just trying so hard. In the interest, this is like nuclear brinksmanship. You know what I mean? Anyway, all right, let's continue.
My mom, you know what she says?
What?
She always says to me, she says, "Oh, it's so hard this time we live in. It's so hard." That's what she says.
Stop! You're such a piece of shit. Don't do that. Stop it. Oh my god. This is like the hardest thing that I've ever done. Way harder than I am around Lolo's mom.
Oh, you did it. You had to do it.
No!